Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop right here in the beautiful Nashville studios today. And here's an update for you. We've been talking about our slide optic program where people send their slides to us. We cut it, install an optic, and return it in 10 days or less. Been talking about that for maybe 5 or 6 months now. Well, over the past 5 or 6 months, we have done 5,000. Yes, I mean, it's amazing. 5,000 slides have come to us from all around the country. We've cut them, and we've turned them back and turned them around in 10 days or less. And you can do it in a couple different ways. You can just send your slide in. If you already have the optic, we'll cut it, we'll send it back to you. If you want to save a little bit of money, you can buy the optic from us and do the slide cut at the same time, and we'll actually install it for you and mail it back to you. But we do it in 10 days or less, and that is the key because a lot of people are stuck in 6 to 8 weeks, and that's pretty crazy in my mind. So if you want your slide to have an optic, send it to us. Now, today I want to talk about the new optic cut that kind of came around a little bit, and we started getting some demand for kind of a different optic cut. Most of the cuts are, we're cutting the slide down and we're putting 2 screw holes in it to attach the optic right to the sight. And that allows you to put the sight as low as possible, which is ideal because that allows you to be a little bit more pointable. Understand, when you have a red dot optic and you are shooting, the sight is so much higher than the iron sight that you kind of have to shoot downhill a little bit. You got to tip your wrist just down a little bit. So this new cut that we're doing is for the Holosun 509T and the Aimpoint ACRO. And here's what it looks like. It's a dovetail type situation. I'll show you how it actually works right here. But here's what it looks like on a test slide that we did. We just got these done the other day. We've done about 5 or 6 of these so far. Because it's becoming more and more popular, I feel, and you're going to see in your own mind's eye that this is a better way to attach the optic because it's not just 2 screws. It's more of a Picatinny clamp concept that you're probably familiar with say, some AR-15 accessories that will clamp onto a rail. Here's one that we just did for a customer. We've got it blacked out. This is the cold blue we put on it so it won't rust afterwards. He'll go ahead and put his optic right on top of that as such. And then here's one that's actually been installed. This is the 509T. And I love the optic by Holosun because, well, a couple things. One, the solar panel. It's awesome. It really works. Saves your battery life. You're not changing batteries all the time. This one does have the battery tray available right here, so it's kind of a backup. But with this solar panel, in reality, the battery's going to last for a lot longer. And that is no joke because I've tested it. We've been playing with them for a couple years now. The other thing I like about the Holosun concept is the circle dot technology. You can do the circle alone, the dot alone, or both. And to me, the circle dot really just helps me see that dot that much faster. I see the circle, I know the dot's in the middle. When there's a dot out there by itself, sometimes I don't see it. I've got old eyes, but it takes me a little bit longer to catch it and to identify it, which, we're talking, split seconds, but at the end of the day, I believe that in my mind, the circle dot is faster. Now, here's how this one works, just to give you a heads up on that. Like I said, the 509T has this clamp situation. So on the back of it, you'll see it's got the rail. Let's see if I can get in close here. Yeah, you can see it pretty good. And this thing, of course, you screw it in and then it clamps shut. It's a nice solid mounting system. This is the cut for the 509T on our test slide. So basically what you do is you just open up your screw, catch the one side, get it set there, oops, and then just screw this down with the Allen screw that comes with it. And it clamps it to the slide with a bunch of contact surface versus just 2 screws. So it really locks it in tightly and it fits rather nicely. It's a neat option. Now this one we actually did with the combat cut we call, where the rear sight is in front of the optic. Here's a traditional cut where the rear sight, we left it back there on the actual gun, the way it came with the gun. Now we can also, like I said, we can do it another way where we actually push the slide all the way back, or excuse me, the optic all the way back, and then we cut another dovetail in front, which I kind of like. You'll notice that these sights aren't quite tall enough to do what we call a co-witness. So if I'm really looking, let me get it lined up here for you. If I'm looking at the optic, it's going to be like this. I really can't see the sights through the optic. And now if I tilt down, of course I'm going to see it, but I'm going to be shooting high. So, you know, when I start lining things up and I see that dot, I'm going to kind of see the dot right in between there. Oops, and there it goes. So this is a neat option if you are interested. Now the thing about the 509 and the Aimpoint ACRO is that they're enclosed sights. So now that the red dot technology has advanced so far to the point where people are starting to carry them on their carry guns, their personal carry guns, they have noticed that the open sights have a tendency, or could potentially, get a piece of lint or dust or debris of some sort, if you're carrying it concealed, it's in your body, that would obscure the laser. So if it's an open, like the traditional red dot optics have been open, and you get just a, you know, because again, that laser diode is a tiny little light. If you get a piece of dust on that, or you get a piece of lint, belly button lint, you know, that kind of stuff, it's going to cover up that diode, and the dot's not going to be there. So hence all the manufacturers went back and they're starting to come up with these enclosed optics where the diode is enclosed, just like this one here. It's a little bit boxier, but certainly more sound if you're going to be using it for concealed carry. All right, and that's what we're starting to see, a whole bunch of those come out from all the different manufacturers. Now let me show you something else here real quick too. So a lot of you will have an MOS. If you have an MOS, there's really not a lot of great options for any of these, this particular sight, because of this clamping system. So what you'll see is, here's a Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. Off comes the MOS plate. Now these are plastic nowadays. Used to be steel, but they were a gating item for them to push these out because of the machine time on this. So they went to plastic. Hence, you know, most people take them and throw them away anyways, or put them off to the side. They don't really use them. So, you know, Glock, you know, kind of made a tactical move that, you know, didn't make a lot of sense to make this out of steel, because it just took too long and the machining time was just too great to make it happen. Plus, they wanted to make sure that the serrations matched up. So it's you know, it's quite a process to do this correctly, you know, tens of thousands of times. So they, being in the plastic business, made it out of plastic. Now, so what you'll do if you have an MOS and you want to use this 509 concept is you're going to use the Glock factory MOS adapter plate. The number 2 plate is for a Holosun or RMR. And since this is a Holosun, that's the one we'll be using. So you take your Glock adapter plate. Now, it comes with a full package of adapter plates. And that's what comes with your Gen 5 MOS guns. Any of the MOS guns are going to come with this. Each one of these plates has a different hole configuration for different slides or different optics. Like I said, number 2 is for the RMR and the Holosun. Basically, this is their adapter plate that allows me to stick another plate on top of it. And I'm going to demonstrate that for a while. So it goes in and you screw those in right there, just as such. So now you attach their adapter plate to the actual slide. And then Holosun supplies you with another adapter plate. So it's kind of like, really? I mean, how many plates do I want to have on this thing? And it goes on top like that. And then you put the optic on top of it, like so. The challenge with that, in my mind, is that all of a sudden the optic is sitting really, really high. And the higher it is, the less pointable it is. Now, you can certainly become accustomed to that and certainly practice with that. It's just a matter of, as you present the gun, you've got to have your wrist in a certain position so that when you come out, you see that dot. Again, you're kind of shooting downhill. That's why I'm kind of pointing myself downhill. Typically, remember the Glock, one of the best things about a Glock is very pointable. It's really like pointing your finger. The grip, when you have the proper grip on the gun, just grab the grip, boom, it's just pointing. Now I've got to point down a little bit because I'm shooting downhill, trying to match that optic up with the trajectory of the bullet. So this configuration is kind of wonky in my mind. What I may suggest, and there probably are some manufacturers out there who are making a plate for the MOS directly that will have this Picatinny clamping style cut on it. It may be something we'll do here shortly, but you know, we'll get to it eventually. So anyways, if you have an MOS, that's kind of how that one works. If you have an MOS and you have just a standard sight, it'll go directly onto the this MOS plate. So it's you know, okay. But when we cut them, when you send your slide to us and we actually cut it, it sits lower than any of the MOS options. And that's one of the advantages. So if you have an option to buy a Gen 5 or a Gen 5 MOS, just buy the Gen 5 gun and send it the slide to us and we'll cut it and install the slide for you. It's going to be a better situation because the slide's going to, or the optic's going to sit lower. It's going to look better. It's going to look like it grew there. You don't have all these extra plates, you know, piling up on top of this thing. And it's going to make the gun more pointable because the optic is lower. So that's kind of the skinny on this new 509T and the new Acro, Aimpoint ACRO. It's an enclosed sight. Again, I just love the Holosun because of that solar panel and that circle dot. If you have you know, a choice, you know, Aimpoint's, you know, a great brand. You know, everybody loves Aimpoint. It's solid. But in my mind, Holosun has some great advantages, and that solar panel is definitely one of them. If you've got a slide that you want to cut for an optic, I encourage you to look at our website. There's going to be a link here around here somewhere to take you to that. And we've got a great program going. Like I said, we turn around in 10 days or less. We haven't missed one, okay? I mean, I think we lost 2 in the mail, to be honest. We didn't lose them. The mail lost them. You know, FedEx lost them. But we got them recovered, and we actually, you know, did make good on those. But at the end of the day, we get them done in 10 days or less. And we've done, like I said, 5,000 of them. So we know we can do yours. I've got the machinery, I've got the people, I've got the enthusiasm to get them done and do them right. They're really, really, they turn out great. This is a great program for us. It's a great program for you too, because you can buy the optic cut and the optic itself at a discount. So that's one of the other cool things. You know, we actually, if you bundle it together, you're going to save, you know, 50 or 60 or maybe even $75, depending upon which optic you're buying and which slide and all that other stuff. So it's a great program. I do appreciate all the 5,000 people who've actually participated and you know, trusted us with our slide. One of the best things we see is that, you know, a person will send one slide in, and then here come 3 more from the same person. And once he gets them back in like 7 days, it's like, wow, okay, he really trusts us. So thank you all who have been participating in that program. And thank you for watching, and thank you for being here. Of course, this is the GlockStore, and we've got a great facility here in Nashville. Encourage you to come down and check out the retail store. Check out our shooting ranges, which are not lanes. They're combat rooms, so you can shoot in multiple directions and at multiple targets and around corners and all kinds of fun stuff. And if you're here, and I'm here, I'll give you a tour through the machine shop. You can actually see where we're cutting these slides. So thanks for watching. I'm Lenny McGill. This, of course, is the GlockStore. We'll see you next time.